FIA's second ADUO evaluation window has effectively locked Red Bull Ford out of power unit development for the remainder of the season. The irony is stark. Red Bull's combustion engine was punished for being the strongest on the grid, while the team's actual weakness lies entirely on the hybrid and electrical side. This raises a central question: is the FIA's rule genuinely neutral, or has the regulation indirectly handed an advantage to Ferrari, Mercedes, Audi, and Honda? Red Bull possesses a strong V6, yet the one area where the car is actually struggling is precisely the area it is not permitted to improve. The ADUO system primarily evaluates combustion engine performance. Red Bull Ford's V6 was classified as the strongest unit on the grid in terms of fuel consumption and peak output, and it was this assessment that triggered the development freeze. But the real-world problem for Red Bull sits elsewhere, in battery efficiency, MGUK deployment, electronic energy management, and acceleration on long straights. Red Bull is losing performance in electrical deployment, specifically on long straights. When the hybrid system reduces power delivery, Max Verstappen faces a significant performance loss on the longest sections of every circuit. The core contradiction is direct. Red Bull was punished in the area where it was strong, while being denied permission to fix the area where it is weak. Ferrari, Audi, and Honda's combustion engines are reported to be more than 4 behind Red Bull's unit. Because of this gap, rival manufacturers have been granted an increased budget allowance, additional dyno and test bench hours, MGUK updates, turbo development, and broader power unit modifications. This gives competitors the opportunity to improve their electrical deployment and neutralize Red Bull's straight-line advantage, while Red Bull remains stuck with a frozen package. The resulting question is whether the FIA is creating genuine performance convergence, or whether championship balance is being artificially altered through regulation. To compensate for the power deficit, Verstappen has been pushed toward a low-drag setup. Flattening the rear wing angle improves straight-line speed, but it comes at a cost: less rear downforce, less mechanical stability, an unstable rear under acceleration, and increased tire temperatures. These problems become more visible through fast corners and medium-speed sections of the track. Aerodynamics cannot fully compensate for an electrical power deficit. For Verstappen, the situation amounts to fixing one problem only to create another. Inside Milton Keynes, the atmosphere in the Red Bull garage has grown increasingly tense. Nicolas Tambatzis has commented publicly on the controversy surrounding the ADUO system, while the FIA's position remains that the regulation may be controversial but the rules will not be changed. Verstappen's frustration centers on one basic limitation: engineers can adjust a setup, but they cannot fix the fundamental weakness of a frozen power unit. Red Bull now finds itself framed as a team punished for its own success. The unresolved question hanging over the paddock is whether the FIA has knowingly pushed the championship fight away from Red Bull. Ferrari's partnership with Lewis Hamilton was initially framed as a dream combination. A recent strategy failure, however, has exposed serious cracks in that relationship. During a race, Hamilton was faster than Charles Leclerc on fresher tires but remained stuck behind him. Hamilton repeatedly warned his team over the radio that time was being lost, but Ferrari's pit wall did not respond immediately. Hamilton's frustration escalated in stages. He was stuck in traffic, the team did not intervene, a podium opportunity disappeared, his tires deteriorated, and both Lando Norris and Kimi Antonelli overtook him during the delay. His sarcastic radio comment became the turning point of the weekend, and his complaint about being treated as a test subject signaled a deeper trust issue with the team. For Hamilton, the problem was not simply one bad strategic call, it was that Ferrari was not managing his race seriously. Hamilton was not the only frustrated driver inside Ferrari. Leclerc experienced his own final lap incident during the same period, and an aggressive interaction between Hamilton and Leclerc has been read as a signal of internal rivalry. Italian media reported a claim of radio censorship during the incident. This remains a media report rather than a confirmed fact. Ferrari now faces a dual internal problem. Hamilton wants priority, Leclerc wants equal respect, and both drivers are championship contenders. As a result, Ferrari's internal battle may be more dangerous to manage than its rivalry with external competitors. The current championship standings place Antonelli on 242 points, Hamilton on 183 points, and Leclerc on 155 points. Hamilton cannot afford further strategic mistakes at this stage of the season, and Leclerc has no intention of allowing Hamilton to pass freely. Previous team order tensions inside Ferrari add further weight to the situation. Two competitive teammates fighting for the same championship risk becoming each other's biggest obstacle. The unresolved question for Ferrari is whether the team will designate a clear number one driver, or allow both drivers to continue fighting for position. Mercedes has accepted an unusual scenario. Championship leader Kimi Antonelli will start a race from P20 after an engine unit change. On paper, a championship leader starting 20th appears to be a significant setback. Reports suggest Mercedes treated the penalty as an opportunity rather than a disaster, using the grid drop to introduce and test performance changes under race conditions. The claimed upgrade centers on a revised W17 turbo, featuring modified internal geometry and adjusted turbine blade settings intended to improve low RPM response and deliver torque faster. This technology is particularly suited to Monza's characteristics: slow chicanes followed by heavy acceleration zones and long straights, where immediate torque out of slow corners carries significant value. A claimed synthetic fuel developed with Petronas is designed to reduce turbo lag, improve combustion response, and remain within FIA fuel flow restrictions. This is paired with Mercedes electronic mapping, where MGUK energy recovery and deployment become an additional performance factor. Mercedes is reportedly not simply generating more peak power, the aim is to deliver that power exactly where Monza's layout rewards it. The additional power allows Mercedes to run a more aggressive rear-wing configuration, retaining more rear downforce without sacrificing straight-line performance. The claimed benefits include better performance through the Lesmo corners, improved stability at the parabolica, earlier throttle application, and reduced rear tire overheating, allowing Antonelli to attack corners more aggressively. This combination could transform a P20 start from a punishment into a potential comeback opportunity. Toto Wolff's decision to proceed with the engine change is being described as a calculated gamble rather than a routine swap. Antonelli has little strategic risk to lose, since he already starts from the back of the grid. Mercedes can use the race itself to test the upgraded package under full competitive conditions. Customer teams are reported to receive the same update, while Mercedes is said to retain its edge through its own optimized mapping. If the upgraded engine performs as strongly as suggested, the P20 grid position may not matter for long. Ferrari reportedly received additional development opportunities because its combustion engine lagged more than 4 behind Red Bull's. The planned second ADUO package is described as potentially worth around 15 additional horsepower and roughly 0.2 of a second per lap,